The Return of Cooler is the first direct sequel movie in the Dragon Ball Z franchise. Toei Animation knew what they had with this one. Cooler was a popular villain, and the fans wanted to see him again. And similar to the last Cooler film, this one showcases Cooler one-upping his brother, but this time in the cyborg department. It's a little bit Terminator meets Enter the Dragon, and it's an action thriller ride that never loses momentum. Will the combination of Cooler and fantastical sci-fi elements make for an entertaining movie? Find out in our review of the 6th Dragon Ball Z movie, Return of Cooler.
The opening of the film is actually pretty creepy. We open on the new planet Namek, where the Nameks continue to sulk, knowing there won't be any female Nameks. It's just like spring break at Panama City. It's a total sausage pickle. It's a pickle fest. All of a sudden, this giant shape-shifting Unicron planet begins to envelop planet Namek, absorbing its energy and harvesting its animal life. It's like the Tree of Might, only it's Akira. So Dende, the new guardian of Earth, learns of his people's plight, and gives our hero Goku an excuse to beat the shit out of some alien robotic ass. This movie has more of a revenge angle for Dende, if anything.
So the journey to Namek begins. Goku brings along the usual suspects like Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo, but since this could be a dangerous mission, they brought along Roshi, Yajirobe, and Oolong. That's right, fucking Oolong. His relevance died long before the first arc of Dragon Ball, but at least we can do this joke. Pigs in space! When our heroes arrive, we see a group of robots are enslaving the Nameks, and even though some of them are trying to fight back, they just get their asses kicked. And what do you expect? They're Nameks that don't have the name Piccolo. Gohan and the others appear to help save the Nameks and fight back, when out of nowhere a familiar face from the past emerges to take on Goku. Behold the badassery of Metacooler.
Have you seen this boy?
So this is the part of the movie where it's all like, hey, fuck story, let's just fight. And fight they do. Gohan and Piccolo and Krillin all fight against the ruthless robotic regiment with their best abilities. Krillin, however, mostly gets played for laughs as he continuously gets beaten and comically dodges the robot's attacks. Yajirobe and Oolong don't help at all. Their presence is a wart on the ass of this movie. Roshi tries to fight back, but doesn't accomplish much. He and Yajirobe and Oolong get captured as Piccolo and Gohan and the others finish off the remaining robots.
Goku's battle with Metacooler starts out pretty standard for a DBZ fight. Goku holds back until he gets his ass kicked and then decides to go Super Saiyan. And here's where the battle really picks up and both fighters display a ton of awesome techniques. Metacooler displays his most terrifying new ability when Goku punches right through his body and Metacooler loses his left arm. But suddenly he grows it back and it looks really creepy when he does. And how does this work, do you ask?
Nano Machine, son!
Metacooler takes control of the fight and is about to literally rip Goku's throat apart when Vegeta suddenly arrives, saving his eternal rival.
Fun fact!
Did you know this was Vegeta's very first appearance in a Dragon Ball Z film? And that's not counting the TV specials, like Bardock, the father of Goku, or The History of Trunks. With the combined strength of Goku and Vegeta's forehead, our heroes defeat Metacooler and once again save the day. I would be saying that if this twist didn't happen. You see, suddenly Metacooler reappears, and he is joined by an entire army of Metacoolers. Goku and Vegeta gave it 100% just to defeat one of these guys, so they're pretty screwed. Try as they might, our heroes are captured, and we are introduced to the real Cooler. We learn he survived being blasted into the sun, don't fucking ask, but all that remained was his head. Luckily for him, he was found by the Big Getty Star, this giant self-aware mass of technology and leftover internet porn that devours planets. Cooler was collected and was rebuilt and cloned as Metacooler. Now in control of the Big Getty Star, Cooler plans on taking over the entire universe. So the final battle, while cool looking, is still somewhat anticlimactic. Cooler tries to absorb Goku and Vegeta's energy, but he soon realizes they have too much, and Goku and Vegeta realize this as well. So they power up as much as they can, causing the Big Getty Star to overload and destroy itself from the inside out. This is a tactic that's been seen in a ton of different anime before, and was even reused in the second Naruto Shippuden movie. Cooler tries one last-ditch effort to kill Goku, by becoming this mass Tetsuo madness, but Goku defeats him with an energy blast to the core, and that kills him. And in typical wrap-up fashion, the day is saved. Goku gets a last laugh, and Vegeta leaves to brood about being a prince or some bullshit.
Okay, so now it's time for SuperKamiGuru9000 to tell you what we thought. Well, of course, you're already watching our review, so you know what we think up to this point. But actually, my opinion on the ending is that I really, really enjoyed it. It always seemed very Akira-esque. I'm sure you can tell with some of our Akira jokes built into this review. But I really liked the ending. I always thought the animation style used at the end with like all the like electronic sort of tentacles. I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like this electronic sort of like tubes coming out of Metacooler, like grabbing Goku and squeezing him. And there was blood. And blood is something that's only used in very serious moments of Dragon Ball Z. You don't see it very often. So when I was getting to see like Goku get squeezed and all this blood dripping out of him, and then like that part where he goes super Saiyan and like bursts through all the stuff and he looks gigantic and then shoots that random energy blast into Cooler, exploding the whole Getty Star and the Cooler's head and all that stuff, like all that part to me was awesome. Don't get me wrong, I really did like the parts with Vegeta and Goku versus Metacooler, but to me the ending is what really stood out to me, and it always is what I think about whenever I get to this movie.
Metacooler is so much like his brother in almost every fashion. The first movie was sort of like him one-upping Frieza by saying he could transform again. And then later on in the series, we got to see that Frieza returned with King Cold, and he had become this cyborg. He was Mecha Frieza. And Mecha Frieza is kind of like the ghetto version of Cooler in this movie, and you'll see why immediately. Cooler is just such a slick badass in this one. And the coolest part about it, did you see the pun there? The coolest part about it really is they're just fighting against like cloned versions of him for the majority of the film. And getting to see Goku fight against this guy on Planet Namek is, obviously it's a great tribute to when he fought Frieza on the original Planet Namek. It's all like a great callback to that. But really it is the big Getty Star that makes the setting for this one. And I like how Christian brings up the whole point of Akira. Towards the end of the movie, you really get to get inside of the big Getty Star and see like what it looks like. And it is really just this giant, creepy techno fortress. All these tubes are all over the fucking place. It's a great setting for a final battle. And while I didn't really care for the final battle, when we actually do or get to see Cooler for the first time and he turns into his like giant robotic form, I don't know. The reason it doesn't do much for me, I think, is just because the animation just seems kind of so-so, and I was just enjoying the battle with Metacooler a little bit more. Probably because it was just more of a traditional hand-to-hand fight, and we really don't get to see Goku fight against the giants too often. But it still is a pretty nice twist, and I really do enjoy that. What I can say, however, is I still don't know why the fuck Yajirobe, Roshi, and Oolong are in this movie. They don't really do anything except waste a little bit of time. And they do have a small subplot that we didn't really get into, how they're captured by the robots. We actually get to see what the big Getty Star robots are really like, and they're really not all that threatening when compared to Metacooler, but we're here for Cooler, and he's really what makes this film. It's a shame that this is actually the last one he makes an actual appearance in, save for a few cameos and a few other movies. But still, it's a great successor to the very first Revenge of Cooler film. I still think it's one of the better of the DBZ films, if only for the setting and for the fact that it's another one of those that just gets right to the action right immediately. So definitely check this one out if you're into like sci-fi action movies. It's really, really cool for all the robots and everything. And if you like Dragon Ball Z, you'll definitely like this one too. It's got Vegeta, it's got Goku, it's got a Metacooler. It's fucking awesome. So I think it's pretty obvious we like this movie.
If you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to give us a big thumbs up. It always helps. And until next time, SuperKamiGuru9000 out.